Hey, good afternoon, class. My name is Thomas Crowfoot, and today I'll be presenting my PowerPoint on the design of wireless network final project. And before we jump into it, Instructor Tim, I was reviewing the final document directions, and I just wanted some clarification that let you know my thought process on this was to fill out the detailed design documentation and cost analytics section. I wasn't able to find any actual PDFs or docs that were titled that, so I assumed that this is a total cost analyst and design document that I've been building over the past course. So I only have the PowerPoint built out, but I just thought I'd give you a heads up how I got here. So jumping into it, reviewing the whole project scope, I chose hospital as my um, network to design, and the hospital will need to upgrade all wireless networks. The upgrade will allow employees to transmit patient data via handheld devices and display the data on another device. The doctors will utilize an IP phone to communicate with staff for emergencies. Having the wireless IP phone will improve efficiency and immediate response time for patient emergencies. And the hospital did have a few requirements of the devices that they were looking for. But before we were able to start looking into devices, what the project manager myself wanted to do was take a look at the existing equipment that the hospital has that's already compatible with the 802.11 standards network. Because there's no point of pricing out the hospital entirely for the network when there could be a chance that they could have some pre-existing technology that is compatible. So we can always work around that. When speaking to the hospital's coordinator, they were adamant that the main requirements for the new devices were to include patient name, age, medication, diet, any past or future surgeries, and the name of the patient's primary doctor. So with the devices, what we decided to go with was the Cisco 802.11 wireless IP phone. We decided on this phone because it had multiple benefits. So the device has a Bluetooth 4.0. It has WLAN networking protocols. The exact protocols it covers is the 802.11, A, B, G, and AC. So everything's covered across the board, so that's perfect. Um, the talk time on this phone is 13 hours, and standby is 240 hours, and that's between battery charges. So this phone can go ideally the entire shift plus, because most doctors work 12 hours. Everyone I've ever talked to that worked in the hospital is always two shifts, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., and vice versa, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I feel like those are the most two standard um, hours of operations for hospital staff. So the wireless IP phone is definitely going to be able to cover the entire shift. The application supports is a markup language XML. Um, Moving on, we went with the Honeywell Xeon XP 1952H healthcare barcode scanner. That's a mouthful. The rundown on that, it is cordless. The Bluetooth is a version 4.2, so it has the same exact type of Bluetooth that the IP phone has. When fully charged, the scanner can typically scan over 450 wristbands, which is ideal given that if the hospital is working at a medium load, 450 scans per shift sounds about average. I wasn't able to find too much supporting documents on it, but just given the rough estimate of at least the city I live in with the major hospital, which is Tucson Medical Center, that sounds about average. And There's two configurations for recharge alert reminder, because we all know when nurses get moving, they're going to put the scanner down on the rolling cart, walk away, and it's not always going to be there. So it is going to make two different beeping noises when either it needs to be charged, or let's say they put it down on the charger, but it's not put on correctly. It's like halfway off, and it's going to beep at them a different way. The Xeon XP1952H is fully charged in under 60 seconds when a powered USB or extended power supply cord is used. So that's perfect because we know if for some reason hospitals go into crisis mode, or they're going to need super fast response time, quick recharge time, they need to scan a lot of barcodes. And then the other two devices I went with for pricing out this hospital was a Cisco Business 250 series smart switches, and then the also Cisco Business 200 series access points. I went with these because they can support a low to medium size hospital. And unless they're in a major town like LA or New York, it's not going to be a large hospital like that. I just solely went off based off a local hospital in my area, Tucson Medical Center. And moving on to the cost analyst, the Cisco 8821 wireless IP phone, average price is $310. Let's say there's about $50 per for in the entire hospital, so that total is gonna be 15,500. The Honey Xeon XP 1952H healthcare barcode scanner, the average price is $1,000. On their exact website ranged between like 850 to 1200. I assume that they have bulk deals. If you're buying in bulk size, that $1,000 sounds reasonable. There's 600 beds at Tucson Medical Center, and not every single room is going to need a scanner. Most of these scanners are going to be at the nurses dock station or on their moving carts. So the good enough number I came up with was one scanner per 8 rooms, because they're not going to be scanning every patient at the same exact time. They're going to be able to be flexible and use these scanners within a reasonable area where they can easily access it when needed. So out of 600 beds, 75 scanners needed. Total cost is 75,000. The router and switches for both the Cisco Business 200 and 250 series, the total cost is 17,000. The average labor cost for a network installer professional ranges between $50 and 100. Since we're just mocking it up, we're gonna land right in the middle at 75 an hour. And let's say that the install is going to be taking roughly 60 hours or to 80 hours. And we are assuming that the hospital has pre-existing components such as already established Ethernet wires as RAN, like the Cat5, the Cat6. So in total, between the equipment and labor, the grand total is 113,500. And if I looked at my previous weeks, I went ahead and quoted 300,000, and I was on week one when we initially started freeballing and saying how long will take or how much it will cost before we did a deep dive. So I'm definitely under prediction based on a medium to low size hospital. On the final instructions, it told us to use a Cisco packet tracer to add a router, a switch, two computers with wireless connections, a wireless controller, and a wireless access point. Oh, went too far. So I went ahead and got that on here. I got a router, a switch, the I lost my train of thought. The wireless controller, the access point down here connected to the two computers. And ideally, of course, with the hospital is going to have a huge infrastructure where there's going to be many access points, a lot of different IP phones, and a bunch of scanners. So this is going to be ideally be entire codes. That would have taken a whole day to put all 75 scanners, all 50 phones. It would have been a huge number to accomplish. But that was my presentation, Instructor Tim. I will drop the YouTube link in here in a little bit, and of course, my references. But overall, I do want to thank you for tuning into my presentation. Thank you for being an amazing instructor over the past 8 weeks. I definitely appreciate all your guidance and assistance. If you hear my cat in the background, he's also saying thank you. But enjoy your night.